Hey, good Sunday afternoon, everyone. It is April 12th, 2026, and a very active pattern getting ready to make its way across the central U.S. And here in southern Illinois, I know there's been a lot of talk about the threat for severe weather this week, but wanted to break down everything that we are anticipating as we do need the rain, but we could do without the strong storms. And right now, the risk for severe weather, go ahead and get that out of the way, looks very low here in our neck of the woods. Storm system early Sunday morning moving out of Oklahoma and then tracking up into parts of western Missouri. Notice some rain there spreading out across Kansas, western Missouri, and back into parts of Arkansas as well. Around here, that will eventually drag maybe a couple of showers our way. But this first storm system is really not going to have very big impacts here in our area. So it is something, again, we'll keep an eye on as we make our way into Sunday evening. Notice a couple showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two, but overall the risk for any severe weather is next to zero, and just expecting maybe a couple of isolated showers early Monday morning as well as this makes its way through the area. Monday afternoon, mostly dry, and that's really going to be the case here, I think, as we go through the first half of the week. There's going to be some rain chances on the board, but overall, the risk of seeing widespread rain and dealing with washouts, well, there's going to be a lot more dry time than time with rain in the forecast here, at least as we make our way into the first half of the week. So let's go ahead and switch things over just a bit, get a little sciencey here on you. This is one of the upper level patterns that we look at. You might hear us talk about disturbances or areas of upper level energy, and here's what we're looking at. All right, so you can see the first wave making its way in on Sunday evening. That's the one we're tracking currently across the area. Notice though it just kind of stays to our north. Now there is another one to watch out west. That is one that will approach our region as we make our way into the middle of the week. So again, a very active pattern. It just is not going to likely bring a lot of rain, and not anticipating much in the way of severe weather. So here we go as we make our way into the middle of the week. Tuesday, still isolated showers. And then Wednesday, a more significant wave makes its way Wednesday night and into early Thursday morning, a little closer to us. And that is likely going to generate better chances for widespread showers and thunderstorms. I can't rule out an isolated stronger storm Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but right now, just the timing of when this pushes through is not real favorable for strong storms here in our region. It is something, of course, we'll be keeping an eye on as we go throughout the week. But for those of you that have anxiety due to storms, this is not the week to be real anxious about. Again, the chances for strong storms looks pretty low. That one pushes on through again late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Then yet here's another wave as we make our way into the weekend. That one looks more favorable for Saturday evening and then possibly into Sunday morning. This is a stronger storm system next weekend and likely going to drag a bigger cold front our way. So one of the things that we are keeping an eye on as well is the risk for dealing with some cooler weather. I think we're done with freezing temperatures here in our region. In fact, I think that for those of you that want to go ahead and plant, I think we're probably in the clear there. We could see some temperatures down to about maybe 40 or so early next week behind that next storm system. But right now, our risk for frost and, of course, our risk for freeze looks like it's going to be very low here in our region. So let's look at, again, we've got all these little waves that are going to be pushing through. So let's talk about the risk for severe weather. This is Sunday afternoon. Notice the risk way out to our west, out across Kansas and Oklahoma. So not expecting much of an issue there. As we look ahead then to Monday, similar story. Risk to our north, risk to our west. As we get into Tuesday, the risk gets a little closer to us, but it's still out of southern Illinois. That's right. Storm Prediction Center does not have us in any severe weather risk this week. There you go, Wednesday. Initially, that was in our area, but this is one of the reasons we wait. And we're very patient when we're talking about the risk for severe weather. There's a lot of moving parts, so it just takes some time for us to kind of navigate all of the moving parts and fine-tune the forecast as we get a little closer. That risk on Wednesday also to our west. So again, fairly active pattern, but just not expecting many big issues here in our region. All right, here's the 7-day forecast. It is going to be windy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Look at those afternoon highs creeping back up into the lower 80s, and not only the lower 80s, but actually expecting that we could see some high temperatures approaching 90 degrees by Tuesday afternoon. Staying very warm Wednesday, Thursday, once again close to 90 on Friday afternoon. Notice the rain chances there. Wednesday, 40%. That's really focused Wednesday evening. And then Thursday, that is focused Thursday morning. Now, as we get into the weekend, once again, another stronger cold front there expected Saturday evening. And the rain chances go up. And then look at the cool down. We go from highs in the 80s to highs only in the 60s. By next Sunday. So there are some big changes on the way, at least a brief cool down expected by the second half of next weekend. Appreciate you joining us each week for these weekly weather updates. These are brought to you by Clark Mix On-Site Concrete, located on the west side of Marion. It's springtime. We've got a lot of maybe projects getting ready to get started here. And make sure if you've got any concrete work you need to get done, give Clark Mix On-Site Concrete a call. They're located on the east side of Marion. Just great folks to work with. Also, they'll save you time and save you money. So we appreciate them sponsoring these videos. All right, let's get to the rain, because rain is also a concern right now, as we need more rain. Carbondale, since November 1st through April 11th, only 9.5 inches of rainfall. That seems like a lot. And then you compare it to where the average is, and we're actually running nearly 9 inches below average since November 1st. And if you've spent any time out and about, you may notice how dry the ground is, how hard the ground is. And with the winds here over the next few days, expecting an elevated field fire threat. Now, the week is fairly active, but that does not necessarily mean heavy rain here in our area. Next 7 days, probability of a half an inch is pretty good over the next 7 days. Probability of an inch gets a little lower, maybe talking anywhere from 40 to 50% for seeing an inch or more of rain. So yes, it's going to get a little active, but we're not talking about those widespread, big soaking rains that sometimes we see in the spring, and honestly, that we could really use here in our region. 6 to 10 day rainfall outlook. Notice most of the heavier rain to our north and to our west. And even if I stretch this out even further, and we look at the 8 to 14 day rainfall outlook, also keeping that to our west and northwest. So a fairly active week, some chances for some scattered showers and storms. Again, if you do have outdoor plans this week, I wouldn't cancel them due to the rain chances. Notice Wednesday night, pretty good chance for some rain. Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, another pretty good chance there Saturday evening. Otherwise, expecting quite a bit of dry time mixed in. Have a great week, everyone.